What's up, YouTube friends? I've had a NeuralDSP Quad Cortex for some time. I've never done a capture of a pedal or amp yet, and today we're going to be doing a capture of the Friedman BEOD guitar pedal. First part of the video today is going to be opening up a new page within the Quad Cortex. We come over here to see we have Banger Fish as the preset. We have our little hamburger stack here on the top right corner. We're going to click that. We're going to scroll up until we see New Neural Capture. Now immediately it brings up a new menu where we can see where it wants us to go ahead and start to plug in, and this is a step-by-step process. I'm going to go ahead and grab all my cables, power up the overdrive, and we're going to head into the next steps. Okay, so first step, grab the guitar. And it says so here in the first step, take your instrument and plug it into input 1. Okay, step 2 in the process after we've grabbed our guitar is to grab our headphones. And we see here it says to connect your headphones and or use outputs 1 and 2 or 3 and 4 for monitoring. You want to be able to hear what's going on. Your headphone jack can be found here in the back, very bottom, under the capture out. And so it says here, highlighted, just to make sure you have something in here for monitoring, and that is step 2. And now we will move on to step 3. Okay, now that we've connected our headphones, we're going to move on to our next step, which is to connect the capture out to the input of the target device. So we have our BEOD input here. We have the capture out cable going to the input. And so now we can move on to our next step, making progress. Okay, now we're going to move on to our next step, which is, in this case, we're going to want to run back into input 2 from our output. There's a tube amplifier warning here. We're not using a tube amplifier, we're just trying to capture this pedal. So what we've done is we've placed the output cable into input 2, and it's saying here to position your mic in front of the cabinet and connect it to input 2, or if you have a DI out, to place that instead. And now we can move on to our next step. Okay, that should be all the connections we need to make. Let's look at our NeuralDSP to see what it's asking. Once everything is connected correctly, you can proceed with creating your neural capture. Let's go ahead and advance. We see here we're in the capture screen. I'm going to place my headphones on so I can get a little bit of a monitoring. Okay, so you can't hear this, but this is really cool. This is absolutely working as it should. I'm hearing perfect signal from the BEOD. That's actually sounding really good. So what I want to do now is I want to make my settings how I like them. Alright, sounding really good. Now that I have everything kind of where I want, I can turn up the volume. Very cool. So you want to set the volume to where it's not clipping from the device you're trying to capture. So we're just setting preliminarily, we want to make sure our input, so this is coming from the guitar, and then this is coming from the Friedman. I'm really kind of laying in on those strings, but you see we're not clipping. That looks really good. I'm going to come here and see what our tab 2 options are. It looks like these are just kind of grounding options. I'm not sure exactly if I need to do anything with this at this time, but we can kind of see if anything's making a difference there. Kind of not hearing any real difference there. I'm hearing a little bit of noise coming from the distortion pedal, but that's to be expected. We don't have any noise gate coming. I don't want to really mess with any of the impedance stuff on this right now. I think we're pretty standard. Sounds really cool. And so what I want to do now is I just want to come over here to page 1, and we're going to start a capture. And now it's cut my signal off from the headphones, and it's going to go ahead and run and do a bunch of signals. It's going to run a bunch of signals through the device, and we'll come back and check on it a little bit and see how progress is going. Okay, it's done processing the BEOD and capturing it in the device, and now it's left me with a screen that'll allow me to test the reference versus what it's captured on the Quad Cortex. So I'm going to go ahead and say save, and we're going to call this Friedman. Oh, Friednap! 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 Sorry, Dave Friedman, that's your new name. Friedman, D-E-O-D. This is why Arizona's 48th and 48th in the country for education, guys. And I'm gonna go ahead and select move. Oh, this preferred instrument type of capture is a pedal. Hey, for guitar. Yes! And we did it! We win! Let's go test! In this next part of the video, I'm going to run a comparison through my 212 EVH cabinet. In the first part, we're going to run what the Quad Cortex has captured, and then afterwards, the text will denote the difference between Quad Cortex and the original pedal that we captured, the Friedman DEOD. So let's do a little riff in here and see how things sound. Anyway, let's see what the other pedal actually sounds like, and we'll run a comparison. Okay, part 2. Now we got this guy going through the power stage. The Quad Cortex is off completely. It's just the Friedman. See how it sounds. Dang. Sounds pretty dang good. My initial reaction is that I believe the original pedal might be just something in the process transfer of the capturing process itself. Obviously we have the attenuating knob on the Quad Cortex. I didn't quite have that maxed out when we were doing the Quad Cortex aspect of this video. However, I feel like the sonic value of these two things are very, very similar. The settings that I captured on here are more or less what I had to, well, more or less what are on here now. I just dialed back my volume. It seemed like there was a lot more volume going on directly through the power stage with this than through the Quad Cortex. And again, I think it's because I had that attenuator down quite a bit. But otherwise, believe the capture was pretty successful, and I'm very happy with the results. Let me know how you felt the comparison of this went, and did you notice any difference between the two tones? I'd really like to hear about it. Well, I think that concludes this video. Maybe next time I'll capture a live rig. I have a EVH 5153 prototype amp here. It'd be really great to do a capture of, and very excited to see how the next set of videos within this series goes. There's quite a bit of technology to sample and capture, and I've said this to many of my music friends lately. Really just kind of a magical time to be a guitar player, and if you agree, I'd really like to hear it in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, and if you had any equipment or ideas for future captures or things you'd like me to check out, I'd be really interested in hearing about it. Please like and subscribe to this, and I really hope to see you next time. Bye.